Hello everybody, Adrian here. So welcome to my video about making curry during the lockdown. so um, I am making a chickpea or garbanzo bean curry, and this recipe might be a little bit frustrating for people who like to have like very specific recipes, very specific quantities, because I'm kind of winging it a little bit with what I have in the house. And so I'm going to take you through my thinking and my process on how to make it work and make it come together into something delicious, even when you don't have the precise quantities that a recipe might call for. Now, also just to note, there's when we're talking about a chickpea curry, there are hundreds, maybe thousands of different ways of making this dish. You're going to find a lot of them out there on the internet. So there's just a lot of ways to go about making curries. So this is my version. I'm not going to claim that it's authentically anything other than my own. Here we go. I have about a half of a very large onion here, half of a red bell pepper, because that's all that I have of that particular ingredient. I have some carrots, some garlic cloves here. I also have some cauliflower that is again left over from a recipe, so it's not a very large amount of it. I'm going to add some spinach to this. In terms of the vegetables that you want to add to this, you can add a really wide variety of different things. Some other things that would be great ideas would be broccoli. You could do zucchini or other kinds of summer squashes. You can do sweet potatoes. That's great. That's actually a really common thing that people add. A lot of different things. And also, if you have these as frozen instead of as fresh, that's fine too. Work with what you have. Okay, so I'm going to start sauteing on sort of medium to high heat the chopped up onions and peppers. Then I'm going to, actually that looks like it needs to be chopped up a little bit more, maybe that particular piece. I'm going to add garlic, which I'm going to put through a garlic press, and then I'm going to add my carrots and cauliflower. Now, as my vegetables are simmering away and infusing the oil with all their goodness, let's talk about spices. Now, a lot of people are familiar with curry powder. Curry powder is a mixture of spices that are already put together for you by a manufacturer. Or, there may even be like an artisan spice blend. I happen to be really low on this particular curry spice blend here, but the thing is that because I have a very well stocked spice cabinet, I actually have a lot of the ingredients to make up a good deal more, because you actually put quite a lot of spices into most curries, like by volume. So turmeric is one of the primary things. We've got ground coriander seed here. Paprika is another good one. Cumin. I'm going to add a little bit of heat with some cayenne, and I'm going to add some, of course I've got some salt and black pepper, fresh ground black pepper that I'm going to add into the spice mix here to create my own blend. And, it's going to be a little bit different than the packaged curry, and that's okay. I don't have fenugreek. That's one of the really common Indian spices that go into this. It's got a really interesting, funky flavor that adds a specific element to the spice. You can also add little bits of common, like sort of warm spices, like nutmeg and cinnamon. Those also go well in this here. But I'm going to start dumping this together. I'm not measuring it very carefully, and I'm going to create my spice mix. Now, this has been sauteing for a while, and now I'm going to add in the spice blend that I created over there. And then I'm going to let this actually simmer in. It, as they say, it wakes up the spices, it infuses the oil, it gives you a really great layering of all the different flavors when you bring this heat to the spices at this point in the process. So as you can see, there's a little bit of browning going on, a little bit of caramelization of the onions. Don't worry too much about it sticking to the pan because we're going to be adding a bunch of liquid in these next steps. So it should take care of anything that's sticking to the pan at this point. At this point, we are going to add in a can of drained garbanzo beans, a can of full-fat coconut milk, and a can of diced tomatoes. Alright, so here we go. Here's with all those ingredients dumped in. It's common for coconut to separate in the can like that, so you've got this coconut cream and then the coconut milk was at the bottom. But we just want that all combined at this point, and so it's going to simmer together. I'm also going to throw some spinach on the top here. I've mentioned that too. And at this point, I'm going to add some salt to it as well. We're going to adjust the seasonings later just to make sure that we've got everything tasting right. So here is the finished product. This has been simmering together for a little over 20 minutes here. It doesn't actually take that long. If you keep in mind, canned chickpeas are actually already cooked, so you don't need to worry about cooking those. So here we go. I'm going to plate this up. I'm going to serve it with some rice, which is of course the classic way to do it. Here we go. Here is the final product of curried chickpeas with vegetables made with what I had in the house, served over rice. This is a classic combination here. And I hope that you enjoyed this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up. Share it with anyone who you think would enjoy it, and also subscribe to my channel. Thank you.